Hello, my name is Laura Romito. For the last 25 years, I have been a chef and recipe developer. My clients are always looking for good, clean, healthy, organic ingredients. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some wonderful products from Relative Foods. Today I'm going to make a very simple potato pancake, but instead of using wheat flour as a binder, which can be heavy and doughy, I'm going to use some Relative Foods organic whole grain oat flour. They also make a beautiful organic whole grain millet flour as well. So if you like something a little nuttier tasting, you can try the millet flour. They both work equally well in this recipe. So I've got about 4 cups of shredded potatoes, just regular store-bought hash brown potatoes. I've got 4 eggs, so 1 egg per cup of potatoes, and I'm just going to give those a little whisk so they blend more easily into the potatoes. I've got about a 1/4 cup of diced red onion. I diced it really, really fine so it has a chance to cook through. Put that in, and I like the red onion because I love the color, but you don't have to use red. You could use any kind of onion you like. You could use a little scallion, even a little garlic if you prefer. And now I'm going to blend in a little bit of, about a 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of organic Relative Foods oat flour. I'm just sprinkling that on the top, about a 1/2 cup. And then we'll add our eggs. And then this part, I'm just going to mix with my hands so that we get a nice even consistency. Before I do that, I'm going to season this with High Five Original Unboring Salt, which is also available on Amazon. So this is a fine sea salt blended with fresh organic garlic and organic lemon juice. Lots of herbs and spices. It's perfect with potatoes. So I don't season things from measuring. I do it from surface area. So I'm going to hold my hand up high and sprinkle over the surface area of the potatoes. Now, when I mix this up a little bit, I'll have to do that again. Okay, so we're just going to take our hands and gently blend this together. And as I said before, the really nice thing about using an oat flour or a millet flour as opposed to a wheat flour is that it doesn't get all gluey and gummy, and you don't have to worry about over mixing like you do with a wheat flour. It can get really heavy. So we're going to blend this all in so we no longer see any kind of that flour just standing out on its own. And you want them to just hold together just gently before you cook them, okay? So nice little cake like that. All right. Now I'm going to take off my egg glove and I'm going to use a little bit more seasoning and mix that in. So we have nicely seasoned shredded potatoes. And I have a nice little burner here all set up and ready to go. I'm going to use a little bit of avocado sunflower oil. It's nice over high heat. We'll put that in our nonstick pan. Swirl it around a little bit. Nice and shimmery, then you know it's hot. And we're just going to take little bits of this potato mixture. I like these nice and thin and delicate, not really heavy and dense. And just set those right down in the oil. You can spread them out a little bit. And then go ahead and kind of swirl the oil around it a little so it doesn't stick. Give it a little shake. So these can be made even a couple days in advance and then reheated. They can also be made and frozen. They freeze really, really well. We're just dropping them gently onto the pan here. Oh, they smell really good already. The nice thing about that oat flour too is it's a little bit sweet. It adds just a nice little sweetness to the dish. The millet flour tends to be a little bit nutty, and the oat flour tends to be a little bit sweet. So we're just going to let these brown. And as they brown, I'm going to turn the pan around a couple times because you'll find that you probably have some hot spots on the pan where the flame is bigger on one side than the other. Again, it's always a good idea to move the fat around in the pan a little, give it a little shake, make sure they're loose like that. And you'll know that they're ready to flip when you start to see some nice golden brown edges. Okay, so these were not quite there yet. We're getting a little browning on the kind of little flyaways here of the potatoes, and they're starting to hold together nicely. So that way we'll know that they're ready to flip. Now we're going to serve these with some traditional sour cream and applesauce. Goes really nicely with potato pancakes. But you can also serve them with a beautiful ketchup if you'd like, a nice homemade ketchup. They can also be good with a little salsa. You can add all kinds of different little barbecue sauce with them would be nice. And you'll see again, I've got more browning over here, less over here. I'm gonna kind of move the pan to meet that flame so they cook a little bit more evenly. All right, we're gonna flip them. Get to the second side. I'm gonna pick one up and peek at it. Oh, well, that's looking good. So we'll give it a nice flip. Again, just remember that ratio of about 1 cup of shredded potatoes to 1 egg, and then you'll have a nice, tender potato pancake that holds together really, really well. So about the same amount of time on the second side. If you prefer, you can take these off your skillet or off your pan and put them on some paper towel just to drain off a little bit of that fat. However, I'm using avocado oil, which is great for the heart. It's got a lot of good health benefits, so I'm not too worried about taking that off. So again, these can be made in advance. You can use either the Relative Foods oat flour or you can use the millet flour. They're both organic, both gluten-free, made in an allergen-free facility in Michigan, family-owned business. I've worked with them a lot, and I can say they are great people to work with. So we're gonna let these just brown and crisp a little bit longer. They take about 2 or 3 minutes per side. If you like them a little darker, that's fine too. Another thing that you can do too is make the batter in advance, or the pancake. It's not really a batter, but you can make the mixture in advance, and you can refrigerate it. People often worry about the potatoes turning brown. I don't worry about that because they're gonna brown in the pan anyway, so that's not an issue for me. If you're concerned, you can add a little bit of lemon juice. Also, covering them airtight really helps too. All right, so I'm gonna take these off the pan now. Oh, they smell so good. You can, like I said, do these in advance and then just heat them up, 400-degree oven. The other nice thing about using an oat flour or a millet flour is that actual wheat flour takes a long time for that raw flour to cook out, and we don't have that issue with these. These cook through really, really quickly. So I'm gonna just sprinkle a little parsley on top. If you'd like little chives, chopped chives would be delicious. And then we've got our sour cream and our applesauce. Nice little side condiments for that. So there it is. Some really basic, simple, delicious potato pancakes made with Relative Foods, oat flour, or millet flour.